Na mame emma wo ache emra Adom TV so ene anopai na wochi dwumade na yeda memne da wo hye eye ebrena na wotwe abo pepepe meme da bia no ye betena se na yedi na wochi dwumade abantie no ye hye na wotwe mu ensema hodo bia edi ahim enema ekoso nkomo ebaye na yeyimu mienu ebi wo ha miensa na yesen esi hu nkonya biem na yedi mu nkomo na ene nkomo a yebedie no de kesipa no ebegina Burkina Faso nkrata yomode beto abonten be se ne nansam honum omo asem omo eka eni se entos fresh na yedwedefo ma ekoto efri hode ba no omo twam womo ema kwan ma obia emfa entos emfi Burkina entrase so se wode kɔ Ghana na se wode kɔ hefa no enye adwuma biem omo si factories ahodo a wo hia entos no ede afidi factory na betumi aye processing adandan entos nani na eba no sa no adwadefo a edi entos dwa ekyerese eye hu di mayen asoman esase sabra ye wo mu no Ghana entos no ebi ni ho nti eba no sa no a Burkina no mo kofa ba nti ebedi akwakosi be se memu na Ghana entos no aye ready omo etie nti se omo si ye kwan na ye de no so eni ho de na entos ho na ebe kwa twe amane boaye den anopa ye bedi mo ko ye hu se nra enkrata afra so ye hwe eye kwadwuma sem so ababonten ye beka eno eho asem na afa so de tutum ye no beka ya 2023-2024 na eye abato afe omanyi mu efie miensa fie mienu atwam no achechefo omokobu nyama ya achechefo omomko training colleges ekogentete eba abonten be kira de no na womo wi a woso mokotwe social broni be friend se eno no eye teacher licensure exams na eno na aban ya wote so yi omampani John Dramani Mahama eka kire Ghana for so no ba obeye fi ho brofo no ebi ye abolish ebi ye cancel ene de ekeka ho na wotwi mu mrase bedwa fie drum kase eba no Daniela Mahama yarga ese omampani John Dramani Mahama kada ese obetwam enti ye bedi ho komo ye bekọ yeti ye bebo videos bi sabre no de ye hunu ye bebo bi ne yetie National Teaching Council mo chairman ye no ebedi komo na afei NDC amanyo koma ye hunu ebra no mo eka abolish omo ka cancel no na ne nkyase ankasa eye den no pai ye bedi sa enkomo no enra so na Eid Ramadan ni no mo de ba na wie ye bompa ye kese ema ye nuan mo nkramofo ewie wo makontene ye bedi no so ehun komo edian magye so ene abena pokuwa wenie mamu ache ye sanso ye live ewo Asempa 94.7 me ba sesi na fe ma bedwa fo betina se na ye den komo no ahyehye so nemom kai se ene na wotwe eye Adom TV fufuo party eye timtim ya boboa no ha ya ene ye bedi fufuo no ye be hwe anim me ba me da se gusua eka me ho na wotwe dwumadie ena o share aha eye Adom TV na ye be hye ye nkomodie no ase medical abo amane se be hye teacher licensure exams no ye be san so afya Burkina Faso de ekoso ya ene fresh tomatoes yenya ewo Ghana hanum biem esanse womo se wode tabo atosom na ye be hye nkomodie na se ewo teacher licensure exams no entiasie mu no obi a wako teacher training college awie na waje na ntiti ye nyina no wi a obetwe won sohwe na wababa ye national service na chi no ukọ ekotwe won sohwe no ne licensure exams no obeka ya 2023-2024 mu ho ye hunu se akyerɛkyerɛfo bi ne sohwe mo kɔkyerɛ ye eni sunsanso a ye hu se aliki ababonte no na eyo monyo enkoye brofo krompa teacher ni ɛkyerɛ eni ensimbisa bi a woso yi ano a sa nipa ekogina classroom akotrade no na ehun sama koye bebre ehon na de san komo no ba ye se teacher ni kire we de ma sa ye mark na ofelia ede na che so the fact say wo wie training college no or ye qualified so begina classroom acha kwada na de na emu komo no na edoso ye be hye videos bi na afei ya ba be hye enkobo no ase National Teaching Council wo mo chairman yewra ye Kwame Alovi ebe join yen na yedisa enkomo no ne yebisa eho asem na yenhwe wemra.
Will abolish teacher licensure exams. will abolish teacher licensure exams and integrate it into the licensing process in their...
Mr. Speaker, NDC never promised to cancel licensure exams. We promised to incorporate it into the general examination system of the colleges. That was what we promised. And what we are doing today is fulfilling exactly what we promised to do. That's what we promised. Go and pick our manifesto and show me which page. We said we're going to incorporate it. The way that you propose to organize licensure exams is what we objected to. The manner in which you intended to do it. So we said it will be incorporated into the general examination system. We never said we're totally abolishing it.
Eti penya wote se wakasai eye ora mahama yarga okọ emrasobeje fi Adom kese no wono ene wo kandifo mame kwa wo asam ne yewra kwa me alovi eni enkomo ora alovi matien
Adom de ko okay dabun ko
ora alovi otemenka okay kule wala mon shena afi on kan ho na yeni enkobo no ne sedia enchimu no etie no empenyifo emfa enom yen na mesaka guta president edwadifo nkabom kwa wo mayimu wo mo ekandifo yera Clement Boaten ewo ha Atiki Yakubu eka NPP communication team no oka ho bi ye hwanim se Richard Manribe ono eka NDC communication team no obeba abekan ho ora lovi matching.
Hello?
Yet on campus what to make. Okay. Yet say what J Ebre akan ho anopai na ye teacher for licensure exams no ehun komo eba sopa na watwi mu na de ebi eka eni se NDC in 2023-2024 eka che Ghana for say omo be scrape omo be abolish ene ase enkomodie no bisutu se yasesa bossa modema achechefo ni titi training colleges for no ena modwane afi ho acha U10 anase entimuna na Ghana for anti asie ye etesen
na tumi aba enye ankure se NDC akase e betwa la tesa exam e betem enye ankure ni ka committee a draw education manifesto and ni I told my certain say ni e koso NPP time no se na bi ankoro ndo yi school akọ transfer afi baako ansa na wo ba examination no betem afi so nkoranu se uko school say akoko training college ya untumi ntio examination o akoko training college go college for akọ register aso betem afi so paper and paperwork also teaching the teacher apart from the theory practical teaching account but exam only starts up the practical teaching account eventually namuna the exam no aka student for almost final examination almost to ask number school and so me the Minister of Education set up a committee me ko na meeting among asana mabe board chairman of the NTC that committee me na me chairman of that committee and he did report your command the minister and he in May and the minister said by August of last 2025 the old examination they are almost I think by August now report near the by and to ensure the last examination under the MPP or under the old form in August. The first batch of new reform in October 2025. Now, start examining teaching, practical teaching, 30% of the total mark on the draw. And Canada and Count. After so, teachers who on examination, woman coffee and some Bible examination, translate. actual examination of school and Umuyakosi. After to be actual examination, the College of Education. One took on cover before actual examination. And the Boshi IHS, the exam, the one fund examination, which will integrate the examination process, national process, into the fund examination of the teacher training. That's what we have done. That is what we do.
Okay. It's the old system now, my best son no. Na teacher Nino, and I say a branch and a babawa, or ye training college. No, yet the every ben no ba, a better licensure exams no.
I'm carrying on. We used to go. About 1 year, as a national service, and son of a register at the exam. That time, not turning a night ready. Memory loss. After so, I said, because go a Google, need to try exam not Google, same copy of a register or center and so exam. After so, teaching, practical teaching and come. And I assist the see, I'm going to show exam no, or walk at our school. Who used to go, I would transfer, won't cost 1 year to examination.
Baby, I made na a year, say, teacher, and I say, there will be a training college, a better 1 year. NTC board says, so say, or Baba veterans or no, Nadio saying in an refi, construction of grammar, sentences, na bakwa, and socially be a babon, Tima yin, I can be no, who say, teacher ni brought for what shall say, ye makeno. Except was yet what ye train ye into a so bachelor dear. Na a year, be a sunny. I becca say a teacher will go through Ghana, ye training college, a trust abroad from so the coaching quadadia, nay yadepa.
Remember, Uncle now, a investor kept causing one a train teachers in. And a chain by Abercam. And people at the time, almost 48 colleges, which is my universities. Legon, Uncle, on training teachers, and never say, College of Education, very 8. Or mental. Investor Cape was NYB. Investor Education winner by NYB. Appear Menkan investor, this also NYB. And the investment now, Obia examination separately. Near under NDC, a different from whatever is written under Legon. And the licensure examination in a year, standardization of all those things. So, teachers be a regular college of education, a sandwich, a distance education. And some performing and a virtual examination. And Tibet Naba say, want to me, well, Nami Pisa say, Argentina, teachers in the college, I pass you examination on the university and college. Now, the children and sister are failing. Is it because material are debating to universities and the colleges? They are not good materials, and as the teachers in the NYDA, and as the students know, and Mbomoli or college, and idea. And the last examination, we did out. One night, they say, okay, so big double or performing. On to me, found some performing the quarter idea. And looking out, last examination, was there. One are qualified. Say, you don't find them in the classroom. We only want to get the teachers who are qualified to be in the classroom in charge of our children.
Memory loss, what kind say teacher ni be I bet na fear 1 year and some of exams no. Na say obi a training or so we waji training aye national service. National service ni mun so ye nim say ya de kire no a e no mo kire for that 1 year. Na oba ba ye so hwe na ye justify say when your memory loss into be we na bebe no afeli omutumi proceed emeye beka say certified teachers are na eno no ye justify say the when your memory loss no to make kwachira there after 1 year mani ye but so here they want to make sure is that the case
sana ekoranka anyame na meka students one leadership no teacher training at of Ghana online this reporting by say they undergo memory loss because any obi an e classroom e ko child be all national all the so after so at the training any Nnawotwe college in Kwana hotel school some things are different. The college of education or the education prepares you to teach in any level at the basic at the political level. And or now charity or class 1. Okay? The charity or GSS 2. Is different from whatever they've learned at the they are applying the knowledge about to the teaching that they are doing. And they say, they forget whatever they've learned after 1 year. I can't dispute that because I'm not part of them. They are saying the report the report they brought to us.
It's or no na or get the victim dear or the nina so abre the council. It's a winning nina so to win your and as a council no so no say teacher ni ono so work school 1 year when your memory loss no or you deserving so be na classroom material.
You are diverting the discussion.
I'm not man can say
man can say student can say no man can say yes integrate examination to the final examination of the final of the center training. That is what we are doing. And they say that it is good for them because it helps them not to forget whatever they have learned. Man can say because they said that's what we are doing. That no, our manifesto said that we are going to integrate the examination, the licensure process, the final examination, and then the practical teaching back home, and then the actual examination or their own school, not any other school. It's not because they said that they have a memory loss. That's what we are doing. No, our program said that we are going to do that, and the students said it favored them in that manner. And I make
It's the new system now. Modiaba no echo. Nipa he anase much social no na outcome net is compared to the previous one abebe na failure ebeye issue one ye ka ho asem no omo pass ye no na percentage ni yes compared to the previous one.
Last ye true the yeba organism eka una eju school wo fi 1 year after I buy an to on actual I'm passing on prayer. I'm sure the past years were about 71%. The last year October on the first one 72.3% on a past year. You said you have 20% in natural. And in the other on Tuesday, I'm sure Tuesday you better choice examination view. Colleges better I won't investigate Ghana. Man choice that made to last October because the rest of Ghana Anthony uploaded their records onto the NDC platform. They couldn't register. So they petitioned the Minister of Education and also among so those Legon students under Legon, the rest of Ghana, Legon, are going to write examination in coming Tuesday. After so long, actually last year October, the 23% our man pass, almost the choice account. There are about 16,000 plus, and the choice are meeting or Tuesday.
Na say ye share training colleges ahodo no ene omudwumadie yen share say handout say the adesua no etie the rate at which yenya failure say wo licensure exams no motumi abo akire ye what challenges anase ede na ekoso e what teacher training colleges ahodo nim.
Now the report committee me chain asana the department minister no ya chiro me say ya recommend say be year ansana obi be call training college and also be sandwich program and also be distance education as a teacher no here ma an entrance examination to sift out onga e pata so omuko say anu obia eko so after you say under the SS the what is program there's so much advice and my practice going on. Right now, number 7-1 and so 7-8 and so now two cheating. Teachers are helping them to cheat. Students are cheating themselves. And so good grades at the College of Education. And so now and yet modern born and yet grade no. And she has proposed entrance examination to sift out. Onga efata so cotton college no. Omunko na that proposal no minister under consideration. So approval and a teacher union also approval and colleges of education principal conference approval you have implemented. So yeah, about reduce the number of people who will be failing the orientation examination.
Okay, niema mienu na maybe sawa hase. The proposal no ene se ansana nipa nbeko training college no. Yebema na ye entrance exams. Na ya she omo animudie no wo soro. Ne brofu twode ni bibi ansana ya genetum se obetumi akọ training college no. Eno no se onipa na wie na ye make sure na se ye hwe se onipa no ye wo qualified be twro enso hwe na ye mfa sesew duration ye se ye barrier because a refrain wo honom ensusua be ne wom sa wo twa ansa na wakọ na wa wie ye ma wo bre be twro ne hu se ade na wusua ne 1 year on ugusu kaya ade no a wo brofo twro ne nyina eye ansa na wakọ classroom akọkira ade ensusua be ne wom
se kodano ni say bia ma to what say aye ma pass na person college education na ko ye education number 3 dia and so for there's an entrance examination we prepare for it. You can see say it's approved that then everybody knows that after what say the same called entrance examination after college of education that was checked there obey preparation towards that examination. But the same matter any idea to say ya get to a proposal you put this here we need to consult the principal conference principals of college of education, the teacher unions, and the teacher trainees themselves. They their input into this and that. The committee thought that should be done because as I'm main church say, college now our choice examination say Legon say also a party. This is say a party. Apply a party. University of Education University of party. Now, but sure, the same type of examination under licensure, na own party. And I just say, dear, if I come out college of education, results are all required fraudulent, and you're authentic, and you're only more. Now, my child said, me a teacher, my articles be brave about the what say results are. Don't trust examination, teachers and the students and the headmasters condone for them to cheat. And they are me sure say, when college of education number 12 licensure, na one party. Some students now, the result through problem means and into party.
Okay. Many the last exams now best 71, 72. A pass ya a be a failure, you know. At the end, ma we surprise pa. So when you kwenya every day, one more answer sheets ni be brought for much ya. Were you surprised? A bit more performance I want to him.
I was very surprised actually because the consultants here moderation the report to the NDC council. Now, one, everyone also a question now you be now on TRC. We are not a report so now cultural address I see authority. There's a question on TRC. After so before now what you mean can one sentence be mistake me because you can one TRC say because I know what T and Nnawotwe I don't understand. I'm just saying even I have to question say Sani Panu exercise before a day now to go to training college of education 4 years party and even investing into party. Is there any compromise over there? So we need to investigate what is wrong. Are we trying to lower standard at the universities, the college of education for them to pass because we don't want it because one university bia any colleges they're going to have about 8. UCC about 6. Univers about 8. Obia person almost say oyadi enti me say bia chapanu enya de papa women person be fe bia ntakunu on person because college no.
Okay.
We need to investigate what's wrong because me tell say my party me want examination good result. My course any college yeah train me idea good teachers have taught me. My examination my party but the same type of examination in station me don't pass it. We need to find out what is wrong. And we just say me kind the reporting money script no now me can't script now I don't understand it. Say first even after what say after college of education they don't even understand the question that you are going to answer. Then they deviate completely. Secondly, the English that you write, you cannot read and understand anything that they've written. So something is wrong. We need to investigate.
All right. Me that say, ye beba studio. na ya beto aso ha nti no so betina se 1 year abetro na wo wie ya so a otro no still ye was a challenge no on ma ebi faili sa na tie Yera Lovi efra homa no so mamemra na ye ni enkomo e wo ha Yera Lovi ye governing council na wo mo ehwe teaching council no ono na oye chairman na mamenko atiki yakubu na mimisa no licensure ho semye na me yama bayira boaten chen atiki Martin
me joso
eti saying
boko me standing chairman with you now metie the board chairman of the governing council of the teachers and as a national teachers council meeting the submission no I was at a point I saw all contradicting home. Some of the points that now all making so it doesn't even sit well with me. First of all, comment on making here emphatically boldly stated say there is no way that the NDC promised to cancel the teacher licensure exams was flawed and it's a lie. They promised to cancel the teacher licensure exams. One guy said we don't know about it earlier on. You heard the president himself speaking about it. He stated it categorically. We shall cancel the teachers' licensure exams. Who start taking NDC Youth Manifesto? And let me read it to you. Who taking NDC Youth Manifesto, which was launched on the 12th of August 2024. Our President Mahama was there. This is what is in their Youth Manifesto. Oko page 6 on education. Over up to G. I say, cancel the obnoxious licensure exams for teachers, teacher training graduates. Cancel the obnoxious. Obnoxious. I say be obnoxious. Adia before. Almost say cancel. He didn't say we are going to integrate. So what is he talking about here? In your own manifesto, as he said, go to the National Youth Wing page of the NDC website. What can say mobile council? A two-by councillor went from the conversation of integration. The word was council, as a councillor, and the NC be mobile completely. And issue whereby make up 2024. Now more NEET FM. Maybe not one of their communicators. He was categorical in stating say there is no way they are going to allow licensure exam because we'll be passing through school. Exams maybe. So what is the essence of the licensure exams? That's the point that the person made in the studio of NEET FM. Now, on also making some point, be said, he thinks that he doesn't see the reason why Obeko school, Obewie, then he will go over passing the person now, Okoto licensure exams, no failing. I think that's, I don't want to say it's a point of ignorance because he's the governing board chairman. Until I expect him to know better. Also make a statement. I didn't even want to go there. Not person call. Also make a statement. Be said, people copied in SHS. On what articles be in relation to people copying in SHS or back into the colleges that they can perform. But what shows the colleges of education? They don't also copy there. They also copy there. They go tertiary. People went to tertiary education, tertiary schools, and they copied. So what is he talking about there?
But nano de mwanka samwa breso ne a teacher for results ni bia o mkocho licensure e ba bonten na me proud of pass obi awie training college na common sentence go to me construct na sa nipa we be kwa kwotena de makwotena de say o kase there is a gap, there is a challenger bone be na o kase there is a gap, there is a problem or say problem ni free SHS omoko means that they copied and I'm also make say colleges of education so copying so you but he may all cancer so if the copying goes on then what is the measure would be to put it in place to make sure say they whatever they copied no to pass no the person has to go through that professional exams before he's certified. It's the licensure exams say no say when you free ho it's as last year no integrate as last year they will move their final exams no almost as part of when we exams and start about going to national service. Maybe some question. You cancel teacher training licensure exams. Yes or no? You cancel and cancel it. Who be Sammy? Need to be you one. So yeah, because you minimum say what's your company? What's your company? John Dramani Muhammad some of Kenya. Even though say cancel, abolish and scrap nearby no. Because say omo nim date also be better as 1 year. A sankochiro. Until obey sa 1 year nephew. No, dear, said the final exams are teaching in nature. Edia Babonte. And I know so one thing.
The point is cancel, and also cancel. I say integrate. There's a difference between cancel and integration.
But I know and remember
what was written in the youth manifesto. What was written in the youth manifesto. And the video of the two ano, the president said cancel.
But no integration to us.
But Debbie, Mantiano.
Couldn't patch bo video mami.
The point is cancel. They say in your youth manifesto, almost say cancel. It took us a counselor. There's no way you tell me that I will cancel and also come back and say I will integrate. No, it doesn't work. You lied to the teacher trainee. You lied to the teacher trainees to just get their vote. It was just in Nnawotwe just to get their vote because no student like to write exams. Students don't pay exams, and they knew very well that the teacher trainee didn't want to write. Are not people who like to write the Licensure exam because of the more of them failing. So the strategy is that okay, fine. Let's make sure that we give them this policy. Throw everything. Say throw a dog to the bone. Throw a bone to the dog and keep the dog busy. That's exactly what they did to the teacher trainee students. Exactly what they did to them. Because I don't see why in your youth manifesto, cancel. But that is what they
said. But the integration aspect now, kind of the one thing.
Cancel the Licensure exams. Cancel. Who can say cancel? You can't come back to me and tell me that I've said cancel and I'm integrating. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay, say I will reorganize the Licensure exams. And no matter what I say, because okay, say reorganizer ujemu is ambiguous. We supposed to say it's ambiguous. What you understand? It's better for anywhere I made media some bembium. Unji if you hold more, abolish it. But okay, say cancel there. That means you're going to abolish it. Have they abolished it or not?
I take my video we here.
Will abolish teacher licensure exams. Will abolish teacher licensure exams and integrate it into the licensing process in their final year exam.
Eti uti se omampani John Dramani Mahama we no ko University of Education Winneba into one asuafo no ene kosia ya na omudi nkomo 2024 ebrana campaign mu aye den pa no na okansa ensem we wo se hwanso no mkoye manifesto launch no na atik to asoma me so te
we will abolish teacher licensure exams and integrate it to their final exams as part of their licensure. So what it means is that so uko school they say what could do SSS, what could do SHS3, all right? Final exams na internal na school no be trauma no. School no be ma better no. SSS they say your second term. That should be your final.
Okay.
There shouldn't be anything like WASI. If you can say I'm going to abolish WASI, what it means is that my final my third term exams na metro no. That should be my WASI.
Okay.
But in this case you have them going through the internal examination and still writing the licensure exams. And America say in their youth manifesto, it was written, stated categorically, plain, cancel.
Mate, medasiatik, mame emra manribi ho. Masadam ye raboate me kwano ho, but ye beye more of ye ejedi no ho nsem no. Na afensi ya she say Bank of Ghana policy rate no o mate so about 14%. Yebedi no so hon komo kakra na ya hwese e reflect to banks no even creba 15 no na e reflect ya enya sunsan so e beba no ho na Richard Manuribe abedro NDC communication team member akwaba
enye makwaba so ya share view official panso
afi kometo yen na moa na makamasem say abolish scrap cancel brofo akese na modidi dwuma na wo cancel wi a o se mesabe integrity muche musen
mami chia watifo na men chia me nyan matik ne senior brother so na men fasa kwenya wo ma muslim nyina barka eid na mitana me disakwenya we chia the good people of Nkwanta South constituency and yes also constituency na me so to be more of the news portals if you yeah Nkwanta work more of the discovery of the
me and Nkwanta your reporter wo ye nyima bapa
the more of the potentials the investment I all na ina oka asema be sa me no. What's the NDC campaign promises on teacher licensure exam? The bare facts. And you know, okay. Make sure headlines and no.
Me too.
The bare facts. Na media, sakwenya wo ma me chia multimedia say mwanya kwenya this issue we di buy. Because the NDC, you call campaign in 2024, you have Ghanaians promises. Now, I will urge you and your production team say, day in, day out, move for your manifesto, one-on-one, and from Brand, and share Ghana for. You bought pro on near catch and then penso your quay, baby, a bit draw. Now, Ghana and who say, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and NDC, it's not a party of a joke. Ntia Baya is not the days of liathon. It's the day of reality.
Okay.
It's not a day of talkathon. It's a day of reality. Anything ever do. Say, in 2024, the NDC, any President John Dramani Mahama, will show your manifesto. Now, when you say, you Ghana for a boy, pro, a dear predins, didn't say was shown. Teacher training for a catcher say, MPP are buying. The program be by in the College of Education say. Omucho exam you are no master kufi. Akwatna ho national service after 1 year. No not omasa ba say your friend be say licensure examination. Na licensure omucho wie no ekofie ko national service e ba no. Omusa ba you need to pay some amount of money. No was I got short exam no. So what exam no you are. Some now be fail 1 like 3 times 4 times. No, that's what if you without a licensure exam, no, they won't post you. Okay? Licensure exam there in every part of the world. I will not dispute the fact that nurses are much licensure, medical doctor, all professionals are much engineers or actual licensure. But I can say teacher training there, different, so frustrated. And the buyer, is make a home.
But say we are West teacher for the year binder that we introduce you know sa kwen one and phone so we e come back to line say sana we be certified so to be
I'm aware but
we are aware so how different is it with
so the
teacher?
Procedures are different
next ni we come man we be licensure
any student of college education yet applied no there was a package for them and so you deal with the packager.
And I me person uboa me na me tia say teacher obi a teacher ni or you professional
of course
obi a nurse ni or you professional eti say nurse ni wie e ko ba be ye licensure exams e pass and san ye na ba bonte so we ye professional nurse eti say teacher ni ko ba be tro so sha e de na ma no e ye different de na ma no ye bone won
see education is broader also the health service procedure is different. Teacher training, health service, no. So we are school now. You call as a rotation nurse. There's something called rotation nurse. Until within the rotation nurse, no, you can come and you do a certification of your license with your PIN. What you say? But teacher training college, you for your mentorship, at your national service, as a barber research as a try exam, no matter failure account for 2-3 times, no, they don't put.
It's a mobile exams. I'm actually a failure.
Man, because only to be failure exam.
So it's
no, I John Mahama
but I was saying I have to draw. I
cancel, get cancel, and I'm cancel, to cancel I'm a resource person. Millions of Ghanaians. Now say me one of the platforms. Me can this in the media house publication about me who say MP before you hear me. It is very good for me to raise a man for NTS. Yes. But as a NDC President John, say mutu about mine as College of Education and University of Education. Say move be about power. We will cancel teacher training college licensure examination. You will cancel it and integrate it into the final examination with no fee. And there's tape no plan. And President Mahama kind no. Because it just said ultra maths, English, science, social studies, maybe creative act. For final exam, now the licensure exam no dey account. Until 2 or 3 papers are, now 4 papers. Until 2 years now we go fie no. What we school? Start for stress and any hobby. And you are into that graduation, you are graduation with your licensure exam certificate. And yet, pay open. And a teacher for both GSO. Edge 2 at 2 Abama. Mammy don't want to see all the College of Education because we promised them. And President Mahama, what did the promises? No, you have power in January 7th for no. Student no more prepare. So Muncho licensure because licensure is written in I think March, April. And at that time, they were almost in the process of writing exam, sent to me cancel. So the following year, which is this year, no, and the year taxi NTC 4. Say, mon proper framework, Embra. Now, for policy, new program, ever guided into awarding license, integrating it into final exams, Embra. And you know, because you make massive Pia Bombo at that almost NTC 4 is almost a and the good news is you
and pay many
Mamma go now, but the final budget
me pato Nnawotwe many national teacher council chairman akasa no pay ye na wo ka no exam so mo ye no omo pass rate 71-72 almost 30% efeli ye enti buna mfeli o man
see you yen kan wanya buka
ma mfeli o mo mfeli na
na market licensure
so enti no na ma the argument that will make you say abandada no jom sika mo kwatro so no ma feli wo that's why me bisa say enti buna mfeli sa 30% na o mo tro ye na
me catch you me see you buy here no in 2025 the no money started that and so eba omo hand over my no in April the licensure was in April 2 months to yeba power within 1 month no they are about to start until you can't stop it but we needed a framework next time we didn't even appoint the Minister of Education until subsequently no Minister of Education are taxi NTC for and let me just say you to my policy and framework in that tour until the good news say I think by next week and the last batch lecture I don't know whether you're aware of it last batch lecture of licensure but Minister of Education taxi NTC say all the backlogs now during the 4 years 5 years MPP 4D licensure ban by the end of October August no before August show all the receipts and to big beer no fairly during licensure what if you want your post no abaya biem some you na monko to receipt
don't be pass
I need to mention I'm not examiner I need to look it will be very unfair say me try some monko to pass
okay
sabi we understand yet a policy be an da wa ya so mo brand be scrap it
matter
and to monko to mo licensure by August this year Abai have totally erased and cancelled licensure examination. Into going forward in there, there's nothing going to be like licensure examination. It's a final examination that you write. Now,
it's a final examination, then.
Which one go school? One for journalism. Final examination. It's a final examination, but it will be a paper concerning licensure.
Until it's a one scrappy licensure.
You have scrapped it.
Okay.
Because
idea was scrap idea when you feel when you was
no we understand one yan kasa ye licensure examination
so ain't no what the wuchem ne sika na otua na wuchem na say exam
you are getting this wrong yan kasa we ye licensure examination out we say we're scrapping the system now which one nye
Matemedasi.
And they say there, if you are writing, and they say this is a good news about whatever policies what at one. But I'm with the topic about Ghana for the good news. I Adom College of Education.
All right. Medasi, you be call your name na. I take 2 minutes. But you'll be responding after me coming other topics. So
first of all, Richard Kassev, I listened to him. He knows what he's talking about on the licensure exams. But then, okay, we all say MPP introduced the licensure exams on himself. The policy framework for the introduction of the licensure exam started under them. But they lost the 2016 election and they couldn't implement it. And in fact, secondly, on the issue of fees, I don't know, okay, so when they come, they're going to abolish it. No, Mr. So have they abolished the fees or not, or have they, or the fees still maintained and has rather been increased? Very important. It's my 2 minutes, but I'm giving it to you.
Very well. I think as a brother, I see if I have communication that I won't suffer in doing my work. Apparently, you are right.
Thank you.
The NDC introduced licensure examination under us. But I say, because when say most of the students, some school, some want to go and study abroad. Okay, in China and other countries. And most of them go to foreign schools. They require for licensure. But policy go through all this ordeal. And yes, understand. Yes, understand. The policy framework. Listen, the policy framework of licensure examination has been there long ago. We didn't introduce licensure examination. We didn't introduce. Listen, we not here. We didn't introduce licensure examination, but we believe that getting a license as a teacher is this. But we didn't introduce licensure examination.
Okay.
Yes.
May I say? Obre na odi amanu ti be come anim. Orabuate Martin.
Mini oba meje so.
Meje di se we follow nkomo na obe so be comment here na.
Yes, briefly.
Okay.
Mini oba as a country, these are some of the things that Emma Omaino yemkoye. Because party A the policy be beba. Ochina party A fi power na party B eba. Na policy no ayedai na pasisano. A critical example is our JSS. Obi said 3 years. Obi also said 4 years. Look at teachers exams here. Yeah, can one say me. We see. And as a country, no media the bia me ka say nkamadwen say National Development Planning Commissioner ya set no. Enka yen resource won na on enye blueprint and as a framework bi enfanye den enfanto ho then irrespective of whichever party comes into power no sa framework no and as a blueprint na National Development Planning Commission ayede ato no enu na sese obi ayede obi ade adwuma
okay
no oman no yen koyenim no chena we sese eyesa baby ayegina no ehwa ena yigina eti National Development Planning Commission no yen constitute no na yen nye no all inclusive parties e wo mamu ha nyina obi anya den obi enkom civil CSOs civil society organizations yema wonkom other groups yema wonkom na yen develop sa blueprint no enfanye den enfanto nti abembia obeba no eno na obeye den eno na obe use develop countries no sa na wonwaye eti uba nyesa fe na wo no ukofa wo de dia abase me manifesto eno na me de baba ye adwuma no ade no wo hold the blueprint na wo hold that nti eno na obeye den obe follow no man no na ye ko yenim but ye ko ni say dia mini baba baby e gina no ehwa na de bia e be den
we are disappointed ana
very much disappointed I am very much disappointed because you see we've entrusted this country into the hands of politicians and they are joking with the citizens of this nation and it's about time as I said on mine you put you in the right perspective send be here on mine be den on mine be kon nim country na politicians nko ade awo everybody in this country has a stake in this country and therefore senema enko yi a esi etimi eden esi etimi kasa na you put you on at the right at the proper place na on the on mine eden eko nanim nti ni ameka afa ho ano no
beda Sura Clement Boateng na odiwie ye no mesha se woni so a me pato on this one ye wie
no it's not on this one
nti enye on this one na mede me second topic to so na we de on me do time ma na bia ba ye share Burkina Faso ene tabo mo de ato so se obi antumi nkra entos enfin emfa mo ntos ni from animu ma bonten Ghana ha se wo hwe mo pa dia ye depend on Burkina Faso to so be say 80% no ye fa efi Burkina Faso neba na ene na maba ne se omoma obi amamu mefa bi nkono ye fit wo yen hina ye gina yen nyi enkrato we ye ba ye de nkobo no beto aso
sabre ya Ibrahim Tuawari ede ne nsam na no di nsam abegu fom yi yan sabre ye nimba bia sabre ye ko akotonto sini bi esa
sesia de medam ase sesia de ayentimi nkyire betimi aba se ebi obi ko chinchim no opebi no oba de a tafracha ese udidwa na nko ana wo bi ena obehwe se de ode beton no nti ebi susu ebi musu timi ko Togo nkentem so omutimi ko ososo de a eno kura nya bete okofa ba emu ni nye
adamase ya yi ko ye mo boa ye pa ye bibia mu ye hu sam kan ye ho de e pesa ban ne boa ne se sa mre ye free match ya ye koyi de ye sra ban ne so ne
so e kame ho na wo twi dwumadie e na wo hwa ha ye Adom TV yes so live wo Asempa 94.7 FM na Burkina Faso ensensema ye kan ene ento so ho asem adwadifo mane bi ye ne omadi nkomo ama wo akire yen sanse ebreye ye wo mu ya yi no Ghana ntos emma market enye ready itinka sabre no Burkina ho no mo bekwa kwafa ba ne de twetwe ye ho a May June na Ghana de na ye ready ti ne ya aba ne sei no adwadifo mane so mo bibi ka kire ban yen kohwemra
Ibrahim Tuari Eden ensam na no di nsam abegu fom yi yan sabre ye nimba bia sabre ye ko akotonto sini bi esa se ebi ni Ghana ha edru sabre ya ebi ni ha biem ti se ye nya ba bia de agi me na doma hinkru ebeba a ye be ko ho akotobi
na chese ntos ne be ko atwen na me de se mutwen
yo na me to asem ne so no sa pepepe sa se Ghana ha ye nua ntos ni bi ye season eba ne ko na edru sabre dia the whole Ghana ye nyina ye ko Burkina Faso ya ko fasa
ye sabi kra ye kro mu ya from place eastern region from place kra so ye san won su a ye ne yetimi di ye ntos me ekoto se se Ghana ban se buoni ani die mo papa na dawroma omwa ye na fie bedu sam na fe sam ni Ghana ha ya na ye tonto because sky se de koma Burkina Faso fu anya sika ketwa.
Just yesterday, the policy rate, which used to be 15.5%, has again been slashed by 100 basis, and it is currently at 14%. Even though we know that the commercial banks, as far as lending rates are concerned, are not, responding very well to the lending rates, because once policy rate keeps going down, we expect a corresponding decrease in the lending rates.
Nti enkomo ne yemienu entoso ho asem na policy rate Bank of Ghana de emma banks no na ba okọ bank no na okọje besia ensi hu no de be ma wono ejina Bank of Ghana policy rate no so nti de dodo na hwe ne mi say policy rate ba form na be do 14% a mekọ bank na mekọje besia awo se no so ba form sa na eye adwuma ana set sen raboaten meba ho yen hyase wo entoso sem no ene communica Burkina Faso aban ediaba ese obientu we mefanto so moma ni mobiem guta say aje entoso fori nyina hyamase
ye de guta de once I would dwa na de what register with us or won't register with us, so we consider you as a member of guta because ejumadi bia e bedi afa ejwadi ho no onkan ho kra na at the end of it all no bibia bebia no nso ye den nso unya uchefa ewom ya menu aba into asemi de eyade a ha dwen ye hwe ena kakra etwemi atorenchema ekoto ye nuanom ewo Burkina Faso ho ma ebinom ehwere won enkwa na chese eyade a na ha dwen kakra na eno ena mekan na se Ghana no na do baby a politicians no na won the oman no edi agro because enga adentina esese Ghana yetimi ko Burkina Faso na yekofa tomatoes ewo okrampo de earlier on o ka se ye tomatoes ye fa tomatoes are used to 80%.
It's almost 90%.
It's 90%.
Yeah.
And your coffee fee Burkina Faso a day a baha. Na in Burkina Faso a whole weather esi etie. Na then and I want put you at the right place and unti one to me a produce tomatoes at a very high rate sa yen Ghana itimi ekoho ekokofa ebi yeden ebi edi eba. Ni nyina is about irrigation. Ghana your irrigation development authority ewo omemu ha. What have we been doing over the years? And intimi putu irrigation construction into a proper perspective and I say a proper area a bit me amayen etimi a produce tomatoes because obianim say tomato production here in super here in na what me they produce now you can't like Burkina Faso etimi put all these things in the right place na say yin etimi ko fa bi ba ho a denti na Ghana yentimi enye saade no na che say empanyimfo no over the years one affiliate enti no it's about time ese say empanyimfo hwe na ondi eniema egu akwan mu na tomato si yetimi produce ewo ye memu ha more ade no kra no eniema bi wo ha yetimi produce no more but yetimi produce no more essence say you storage facilities enti na eniema no na egu ho na yeden na asay just last week I say me fa dodoa ekwan yi so o fa ho a watermelon pa yes watermelon wa produce ha menu aba egu ho no enye watermelon ketwa so nenso ebedu emre bi no bunsa fe watermelon no upebi kra onye den unya because of the na say you need storage facilities nti ebesre aban no say omomodin na inputu eniema at the right place na tomato see yem mayenin ko irrigation system no na yen kasa yentimi yeden yentimi produce tomatoes ni yetimi produce more kra na yebetimi asan add value they say 10 tomatoes I do omemu ha nyina ni nyina yakofa ho China and I yedi aba msa nansia na mate say the mo si factory bi ewo ha yenso ye be yeden ye be produce bi na
se wo sha Burkina Faso say ya ewo mo sentos no mabane na ho komodie aba jene carrot mo ni sane mo nyina no adwenifo ma no kwakra bi fi ho no mo eba the latest report no krompo no eba mane say wo say best 2023 no ne na best $85 million sika ye de ko Burkina ko
tomatoes
edeba adwenifo no bebreti me kokra na mo no ya ban krompo no nya data no wakapcha and ye the number $196 million every year aye de ko Burkina ekofa
tomatoes
enra Adom FM just so ye morning show ye ne adwenifo ni bidi nkomo se wo hye Burkina ntos no se de tie na enra mu ye do fiber no doso enna so ne yakituwa bi omo se do man hinkro omo tumi dua santos no e ma no eba ai ne Burkina de ne pepepe eti problem ne challenge ni nyina no eye irrigation se ye mpanyifo ni beko ho se ye benya ensu no all year afimu ni nyina nye se ensu tobre mu ni yetimi ye ntos opene ba na ye ntos ye no atiko enti wo sha aban ba aban ko irrigation sem no ene ye kwu adwuma no adwuma na wo eye no ye de esoni a eboa ye se ye bedru wana
ensoni enti na meka say ye wo a whole authority irrigation development authority what have they been doing over the years? So say idea I want to nema a good the right place enka baby edui enka yin ho sani ompo ka say brown afo baby want to nya species bia the doma one you know it's the same as sani Burkina Faso eti then is irrigation for your farm. I say quickly now, want me then, want me echo boa now want me a producer in volumes. Send ya a beya sa a situation ya come say yenye day. Yenwo a ye enkakra enkakra ye starting enkakra ba omis ebedu baby no yenye day yen ko Burkina Faso hobio. But ye see a better say ya dia. Enye menu aba ebedi edokono ekwa. So enti Senya Burkina Faso e de ban ato so say from now no ye makwan ema or ye Ghana for ye maho emefa tomatoes bi no eno de ye besre because ye nim say ye mampanyi one Burkina Faso leader no I was very good relationship pa nti ye besre mampanyi say omomodin na one no nyeden one no enkasa na se ye meye maya ti ase say Ghana ye dia ye produce no kra beba agija ma meju ho ba bi na beba nti from now till meju ho ba bi no ye ni tomatoes enra me koto tomatoes 20 cedis mienu nketwa da I'm telling you nketwa mienu 20 cedis but what is back 10 cedis
Mr. Boateng no mo nkasa ni say ye ni je say omo fa bronya ho awia pa no so ahu
back 10 cedis and me kokoto e nti se sa na bekona from now until May June ho dia and na je say e be ye nkwan ni stew a ye fa tomatoes nye den engumu nti ye besre omampanyi oni trial enye den enkasa na omaye kwan na ye mefa bi na kopim tama ye de no ebedu ho a ebeba na mpanyimfo nso emfa nhyehyɛ hu akwam na ye irrigation no ye improve ye irrigation system no so emre bi atwam ne yenim sɛ akoma danse yi won eye tomatoes pa no ye tomatoes yes and then about ya to say akoma dan tomatoes yi entimi nye den entimi emabio eni nyina institutional failure enti yesre me nu apanyi minister of agric Erikopoku omomodin na menim se ono na irrigation development authority ehyenase omomodin na onhwe no mfanima emu akwanmu na Ghana ye improve on our irrigation na enema bi sei no yentimi yeden yentimi improve no more na ye honye den ye hontoyen
medaso ba metsan na so a policy rate aban no ediaba Bank of Ghana ye omo committee no ye adwuma no almost 14% eswate na I think 18% ni ade na eswate ba 15.5 and then abedu 14 a good news am agedi for
a very good news because Yura Dr. Asiama governor obaye onene mpanyimfo on eye adwuma na policy rate no eye adwuma bia anase nhyehyɛ bia won efa ehweso na abrani na no yetimi de control inflation because the policy rate eba fema ewo insunsuanso ewo the lending rate eso but ni aye kan say ohwe ba bia Eurasian ba befa policy rate efiye na continuously and I say consecutively washama say abedu and then answer 14%. Now ohwe the corresponding reduction in the lending rate as commercial banks no and so at the emma na commercial bank no on yeden on emwa Euro Asiama because yenyina yenim say the private sector eno any kura omai no because the private sector is the engine of growth. The private sector no so ebetimi so aye adwuma no e de aboa omai na ehia sika na yetimi de aye den yetimi e de aye adwuma no. The sika no so no ehini ebekwa kwaji sika no yebekwa kwaji sika no e wo bank na ye de aye adwuma. Na se ukọ bank se ukọ kwaji sika na se nsihu no e wo so bebre a na je se adwuma na obeye no wo ye adwuma no e de ama bank for
a fair idea about lending rate
currently
interest banks na dema
currently before na policy rate na 15.5 no the banks were lending at 23-24%.
Wow.
So 23-24% na okoji says can 23-24% adwuma ben and now the bay ubetima ubenya emfaso ni bi na onso watimi ayeden watimi akotua sika okoji ya na dia ma bank na abranyina na bank for no excuse back on ma the risk the risk and the risk in this era yewo digitalization as I say Ghana card obia enim bia obia etino and sika nso okoji a se collateral ewo ho yemfa sika ne ma free ya jiw collateral
aju di bibi
si hu yes abwa So ansa na scan ye de bema wa ye de scan na ma and now if your ID card no so no baby a wo te wadwuma wo ye bibia no yenim enti de ben bio na de bia no bank for no ye kasa risk ye di risk na chidi a ene bibia nya den bibia enkoso wo Ghana ha within the sub-region, West Africa sub-region, we Nigeria as the biggest economy, and for never. Ghana is the second biggest economy in the sub-region. But countries are, young economy nikra esusu, eche they are lending at a single digit. Senegal lending at 8%.
Okay.
8%. Ivory Coast here, only lending at 6.5%.
It used to be even 5.
Cape Verde lending at 7.5%. Some countries are mabubo undi sebe on Ghana in terms of GDP and then the economy in general. And you want Ghana. In these countries we know bobesia at that rate Argentina Ghana de still you lending at a double digit. Na a jumana governor nani ni mpenyin 4 year no na che mo mama eye adwuma no ye den egu and governor no so no ono ankasa so aka governor na kase before obepese odi na adwuma ebeba awie no na opese ye do the single digit enu nti na wo hwa abrani nyina no o reduce the lending the policy
policy rate at Bank of Ghana tete so no as a banks in the faso. Yes. A jellyphone, a project besia.
Young fasobia. Young fasobia because we should be a policy rate war at least some more lend the crown point. Come on, dear. Ebian come on from my 18-17% thereabout. And as the policy rate keeps going down, na monso more yedin. Na monso more tete ba copying time maybe a single digit na governor no or say achieve no be achieve. But maybe one way there. But
concerns are raising Madro Bank of Ghana attention say policy rate motiswa a formal banks name to so MJ4 or money response be if some attention.
draw attention to maybe make the last meeting in 1 year about 1.5 years ago crano yes suggested saying can one kasa as a regulator no can one kasa no and come out with figure bia on the bema banks no say bia most lend it at this rate.
Okay.
But I know the in fact one my etias say I know the think kakra the man say one bit me actual banks no but nia one yen say as say one so one yen wodwuma na policy rate in the bafam no say banks no so no respond to it because banks no I say obia on the margins or the day or the etoso and into the bank of Ghana no being the regulator and so anyone can say via on be specific rate be there to say na money day monfa nye but say one kasa no ehu say policy rate no confirm there yenso no say yenso ye boa na yenso reduce your lending rate na private sector no timi ebejiska e dey be on odwuma
but asora Clement Watson e na ye no akasa no mameko atik Yakubu hodom na ye hwe enen to so hu so yesu nyina no eye enhyehyɛ a aban ba aban kɔ ɔmanye ne ye yenim sɛ mo abreso mo de one village one dam by ana ka beboa sɛ opesia na kasa Adam sɛ beboa dwadifo ne akuafo ne titiriwo no matumi anya irrigation nso a ye de begu enwoma nso ne aye nkanya ne sɛ yetie ya bokena so mo ma ye ntos ye tempenti kwa yesu how successful na mankasa mo policy a mo de baye one village one dam ye ene yenya so faso ana.
Well, like I said, to a larger extent, it means your home faso. But then, you see, the topic is on tomato production.
But it is still the same. No, specifically, it is still because you share
the essence of.
Me pacho ye building. So you see a shortage into
one village.
Into one village one dam. A ready for you must say
yes, to some extent in your home for was for irrigation purposes.
And irrigation no the impact no because the irrigation a ready for you farmers and you must say omo complain about irrigation.
who complain about immigration. That means that I say about now also about so much. Of course, we have to continue. I'll get to the fact of it. The number of dams that we're able to build within the 8 years. I'll get to the fact of it. But then specifically, we are talking about come on now, Casano. There were some of the points that you had to go back and rephrase and get me the point. Some of them you even disputed. Later on, I said, what I mean, come on, say, when it comes to tomato production, let me say there are certain things that you go on my young pioneer politics, healthcare, security, yes, agriculture, and yeah, DSA, yeah, politics. The last time I was GH1, and I think the medal of this 4 women don't go back to tomato saba. This band is Ekobongu too. I was having that discussion with them. Then Obi raised the issue, said the moment that issue happened, tomato prices went way up. No, tomatoes, no, still to 23 or so, or man base 2. Nam Kaso, I swear, just 2 penalty me. And you see, the problem here is, as now, Mr. Bartikano, it has been institutional problems over the period. I won't put the blame on the MPP. I won't put the blame on NDC because say if you're crying, I won't put there.
Timunina na mafeli ain't kanasa.
So I won't put there. So no.
And we say Timunina na mafeli because MPP wa NDC ba. NDC no you have to feel that as a country. We Timunina mafeli.
There be Tobo.
That be Atik. Let's be realistic. We say muti tu se mafeli as a man in terms of
on full stop remember. No, wajima no na can see me. Let me end with my full stop. Me say both of us as political parties. Oh, David. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
what step have you made? Me say over the years. All right.
MPP NDC,
both of us.
And
there's been some problems, sir. And I said, you may go on, man. Can I say you may look on me? Because we take Burkina Faso and the northern part of Ghana. Burkina Faso and the northern part of Ghana. There's no much difference between them. But then they are able to invest so much in tomato production. But we as a country, we are not doing it. And then this is not the first time our NDC have power. And then the first time our MPP have power. We have all been in power before. If you are having problem with tomato harvesting and then the pricing and the production of tomatoes, you cannot sit here and say it was an MPP problem or an NDC problem. Then they say we all didn't invest so much into it. But then who to keep the dishes within our setup? If you you see that most of them know how to do it. Tomatoes being in or part of it. In the event that you see an uncle for the embargo, abeto export, so in relation to tomatoes, what it means is that prices of tomatoes are going to go up. Price of food will also go up. Then, and like I said, food inflation will eventually also go up. Now, food inflation will eventually also go up. And for me, there are issues about and now we have to face it as it is. What is the way forward for us? To see more and now. But this is not a fair one. This is not a fair one.
I take it with you.
This is not a fair headline to place there.
You see, you can't agree with
this is not a fair headline.
Any into us as
I did I think this person or every village one. What assessment have you put in place to know that whether the policy failed or not?
What policy? No, if the policy was successful.
Richard,
what
you cannot limit it. You cannot limit it to one down to only tomatoes.
Nnawotwe, me say, you can't tomatoes as a man. Purely irrigation.
What's the show you managing me? So
you get to say one village, the
one 1D, 1F. I can tell you that, this is the number I have even a document in relation to that.
One village, one because they about irrigation.
One village, one dam. I haven't done a thorough assessment on it, so I cannot be able to say that this field, this is the percentage that we want or not.
But any government initiative.
But wait too.
Any government initiative.
So after 8 years, issues of 1D, 1F, Ebanancy, we did an assessment on that. You see, one village, one dam is the issue that is on board now. All right.
Definitely assessment.
But we are going to do assessment.
As a government and an initiative, most of implementation. As a
government,
relax, because it was implemented with Brana MPP power. So it was the government na a year implementation the year Juma. It's meaning say you had a ministry for monitoring and evaluation. And now a year by policies been to test animal way, the free SHS, the 1D1 and the one village, one dam, and now more monitoring and evaluating. So what was the evaluation of the mom concerning one village, one dam? How successful was it?
I have not had any evaluation.
I have
not had any evaluation.
Mammy called Richard Hall now
because why the cast an Oh, but you spoke for me.
I don't want to close your nana.
That's what counts them in a cardiac.
What did you want to do?
I'm not saying you man.
Well, journalist, sorry, the question.
Everybody doing to the oh, yeah. What are you about to ask?
Well, Evan Atassa.
Richard, you share a Pujuma Honsem.
Yes.
Now, I think Senra, Namene, head of protocol, Minister of Agriculture, Kasa. Jason Simon Adom. Now, so I'm Kwaso from Prince. I was informed that the president from Prince.
Yes.
And in Comodiani Munano, irrigation here one major, your friend is a challenger, equia for FM. In so many ways, you money being ho. It's as your quad dry season in my available. At the end of my year, Mokasabi Bree, abandoned on one village, one dam, my year. Mama, you will say, Nya Papa, I'm not cromun to ye. Mobile irrigation systems, what was I in a motorama for? Irrigation man pani kwa point kaso de boho ibi kra be kokoko afo mu nyina ma kokoko afo na nyanso how far with ni nyina because ye can irrigation ye can kwadwuma
o see how far with this now we did
enye there we did mama
yes so tomatoes issues are Burkina Faso for a bandi and there be issues no issues the concern Ghana for ya hwe ni ya agin so waso bebre mean to me who a good for I mean to me who I need to get this correction. Under Africa, because they are also part of Africa.
Yeah.
Mean to me was more the right to ban in selling or integrating marketing system. Ghana and the it's media.
Well,
yes.
Someone said that after Africa continental free trade, is we have to trade.
Yes, intercontinentally.
Intercontinentally, and we are all aware, say. With this Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali,
ECOWAS withdrawal. Okay.
They've opted out. Yes.
But concerning say individual countries, are part of after ABC said, no minimum say somewhere last. Last year was 2024. 2024, the Minister for Agric, Dr. Bernard Champon, banning export of cereals.
Yes. But it wasn't within the West Africa sub-region. It wasn't West Africa sub. That was exporting.
But there was no.
They mean that within West Africa sub-region, now ECOWAS countries.
It was within.
Under African.
It was within.
They had the same market platform.
Yes.
The same market platform. I don't know but that's not a major problem. The major problem, our independence, and I say, say, independence here. You mean try say, me, independence, you mean free, I say, or being to me for commerce and bank and say, or but talk tilapia. No, that is not the problem. Even from Kwame Nkrumah, we have a major problem in agriculture. And one of the major problems is say, yet major agriculture, I say, Obia is for the aged people. The young ones don't want to go into agriculture. And me, Papa, we are 28 in number. And my father won best national farmer about 2 consecutive times. In the agriculture, and yeah, the emphasis in agro. One of my African studies lecture said, we must invest in agriculture more than agriculture. We must invest in agriculture more than culture. Because culture is the past, but agriculture is to feed us tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's very important. We know say government of Ghana importing over 4 billion worth of tomatoes from Burkina Faso every year. Sky Burkina Faso cotton tomatoes 4 billion. And this 4 billion, it can give us more of irrigation now. A bit to me, sustainable in tomatoes. Mimi village Bonache, Okowa, you do for my whole planting tomatoes. Me swano. Tomatoes unless any dry season now. That's why we don't farm tomatoes. You will come here, a bambiaba, and the soldier for what some one say, we a medical doctor cry, and so on in your backyard garden. You remember of
yourself, yeah.
Journalists, medical doctors, Obia, who call you Macraba, and say, who baby endo, but subsequent government, IEM, are trying to solve all these problems in agriculture, especially our crops, vegetables and other crops. It's a major problem. Season in a balance here. Now, I the problem about, and you see, one thing about Ghanaians is every season in our crops, there's agitation. And to say, and then, Cote d'Ivoire for Burkina Faso for abandon tomatoes in the more. Me, a job by repair. Drew April, May, the shortage of yams. You can see the hike of yam ever over to 1 yam 200 Ghana cedi, 100 Ghana cedi. So it has been a major problem. So our major problem is irrigation. And the NDC, Canadian government, for 500 million Canadian loan for this one village, what do you call it? They have this the PGA planting for food and jobs. I give 500 Canadian dollars by. MPP came, wanted to implement it. And no one on one village, one dam policy in the buy almost more every village. Because we know for power where northern part of Ghana is a bit by tomatoes power. We know for power. Say ordinarily every community there's a natural dam. I don't know whether you know that. Every community there's a natural dam.
Okay.
And under the wisdom of Dr. Baumiano or decided we are going to upgrade the dams for irrigation purposes, which were very good. NDC started something with Japan International Cooperation Agency in part of the north. We did about 2-3 dams, which was feasible. So huge money in there, and if we're able to do irrigation now, it'll be better. You can't say Ghana higher tomatoes. I have been to Trabodom, Jenny, all those areas. Tomatoes now during the season. No? If you have machines of preservative, we can use them in this season. So storage is another problem. I say. So when they were building one constituency, one warehouse, I thought why I say they should find a preservative way so able to preserve it. So those areas, they are huge production of tomatoes.
Okay.
But we can't preserve it, and they are perishables. We are comparing this thing, our West Burkina Faso in terms of fiber. Burkina Faso, they have a system, and we started with GMO, those things. Thomas Sankara, in his own wisdom, knew that agriculture is very stressful, but of focusing in one angle of agriculture, and that is tomatoes, and they were spending huge. So the MPP failed. But by even spending over $12 million US by revamping Palugu Dam. But the good news is the NDC under President John Dramani Mahama. Hereby have a problem into these tomatoes and other irrigation purposes in this country and our vegetable system. Quickly, near you say you started with farmer service centers. And then many say who share reporters, President John Mahama, such a place. So you are launching a farmer service center. We are promoting seedlings. You are promoting seedlings. And I want to urge every farmer. So we are farmer. Yes, also the tomatoes. We are promoting production of seedlings into a Bibian. You can go to Feed Ghana. Add the seedlings, So Obianko the seedlings na enko.
We are not so because the issue now is
no, we are. That's why.
And then irrigation. Na fe. Irrigation.
Yeah. Government is promoting improved tomato seedlings. Say I'm tomato farmer can go. Any of the seedling farmers can go. Then we are setting up farmers cooperatives. And they say no, we are certain cooperatives. Every community, not farmers, no, more carbon. So who get tomatoes, open kruma, open where any seedlings, no, we agree. Ministry of Agriculture is given to farmers. Then we are setting up greenhouses. One of the major ways to get tomatoes or other seedlings fast in greenhouses. And you know, Abayi has invested more into that. So, we share policy now. We establish farming centers and agricultural. And you can say
when no manifesto na we dey say on ground so Diana.
So I am Michelle said any manifesto, local manifesto now. Michelle, what the Minister of Agriculture is doing now. So the Minister of Agriculture say almost technical they are called for to revamp the Palogo tomatoes factory. So that yatimia promoted seedlings no. Now yatimia factories now a preservatives now almost are recanning into our tomatoes. It will not be problem. Who can Techiman Tomatoes Factory. And the maker said, Gini, Chabodrom, and those areas, no, it's all close to Techiman. Tomatoes are a pro honor. And the same menu, the Ministry of Agriculture and Abayi, and the government of the day, no. Yes, stress are about improving, they revamped Techiman Tomatoes Factory. Now, when you're about, we are supporting in every sector, and within a short period of time. Okay. Yeah, sure, say. Most of the major irrigation areas are they might extend into the this vegetable farming. They are encouraging the vegetable farming.
So about seed improvements now, you said the previous government another than Kwakufuado almost Jumadi Bisasi under or planting for food, no. I say also no more planting for food and jobs. Almost the improved seedling ebaye. It's a baby about improving. And you go to the see that you improve, you know. The impact, and say, you seats, no, Edria Ama and Sacraye Abba. It
was when Chief Tomatoes Factory, not the Chiman Tomatoes Factory.
But at the end, you know, you improve seedling. Also, be our year, we ain't toast when you man be, but me a so, and you restricted one area. Say across the front place, no, a weapon here across Ghana. Of course. But yet to me, of course. It's no say you improve seedling. It's one of motors and also a different initiative. This
Feed Ghana initiative I did buy no. It's all part of the package. So even who just seedlings no, not season in favor. So we are making sure that irrigation is the #1 priority under this government. We are starting irrigation farming.
Okay.
We integrate that to 24-hour economy.
Richard, say irrigation is a major challenge. And come by any irrigation, me maybe I would say Benyan so no say we yen toast no and toast here so. Na nso no available say when nso de aguso ayo pebre mo say de yo every vegetable money ade ni na ehia nso enti say irrigation system no yentimi nya ne establishment no baabi ni ye ka seedling na unya seedling na nso be na de koguso me
and make say irrigation is our #1 priority
and my figures my areas irrigation system
who establish farming services center ohono. And to work for me, look, who call ruler, baby, I'm in fair Bonache. Baby, I made my phone. Abu Mabi or whoever had to call the small stream. You can turn that to irrigation. So, with our family service center, who call the center, any support our panel, a band about Koyama. You are setting up, didn't the Saturday, my present
my memory or now we are make call
young calendar.
Na a fee, yes, shake. And come on, you're Omumi enu nyina MPP NDC omugitum bia on kanwo ahama ye ntse omafeli
oh da bia me maka when say adwuma me da adwuma ndimi
as political parties Ghana for the to me mom so manage your mind no yeah media minim say video so we neutral at this point there because MPP NDC wa ha and na wona wo kasama adwadifo no sa no mo kan say politicians that fail your mom.
Oh yes no they said there is no doubt because on feeling anka yemi do baby I do in the area of tomatoes because anona miniatic can say oko north one their weather is the same as Burkina Faso until then Burkina Faso etimi aye the writer one day one to me produce tomatoes all year round na here the intimi produce until our feeling on feeling. And you know, it's about time they have to up their sleeves. Na only on my no day. Edi ni and yes sir. Ebedu baby no. Yeah, two about credit on you be no acquire. I'm telling you, I say by election, yeah, I was see. Look at what happened. Because a binum, if let's say politicians, no, you know the one ABC power we are, they forget about them. Until then, they do so in a minute day, men conquer. But I know the and also Basa, it is all right because as a citizen, you know, it first your civic responsibility. Say, yeah, to a bar, I saw to me there, I saw to me because you a big booby who I say, you see he, na say, and I say, yes, you see he, na say one contributor. You back will see. On hibia ma wa day ompe
okay
aha it is so day once you to abandon so day so mami in chipping about the Burkina Faso issue now already and regarding Africa continental free trade yes I just check yes it's against the Africa continental free trade provision yes it's against because once and they have ratified the convention. Until once one ratifier, one no a woman idiot. Na say what the ban a bar. Not just say you are going contrary to what you have appended your signature. So it's against the African Continental Free Trade provision. Yes.
They should be careful.
Me abananka. Na a bit more argument no. And say a nena akoba ne say no. Adena or mine yen no so emfanche wo pese. E wom se ye be short de. But Saban wants to say, Bissan sent to tell you, Abosumi Miensa, Abosumi and 9, now you're ready. It's the other than what's a mind for party or some of my quanian fan to Sukakra. Now young fans saying what wants to send him money Muyano, yet young cock a form Munjuma and produces Santos no Emma or Mino. So that's what I'm about. Oh, and no dear, sir, and no dear, a buying minim say, was that your or ye. But you him say, a bit tricky, Emre, Kakra, and San Abia. And she share or the egu akwemuno in the area of irrigation e be start ya yejuma a start ayejuma entino senior situation na and as a condition na ye wom se ni de ye ni option bia say ye mampanyi e be sre ni nua wo Burkina Faso no na wama ye dwedifo no kwan no watimi akoye den akofa enema ni bi afi ho aba pending nia yenso ye wa ha no say ebedu sa emre na bia be 2-3 months no na irrigation ni ama no say won be yire won ho na won watimi aya won betimi aye ama akuafo no so de aye den de aye adwuma because irrigation is a matter of lines how be den u be lay through the baby anipa no fuomu aha lines now be lay now Ode akofidi say bi as a dam and as a why you sense say you be na why ho ode aye den ode akofidi that insuo no na insuo no a pump it through the lines no na e feedi assassin enipa no ye den enipa no yesu adwuma no enti we no a simple technology here say e be take so much time am on the aye den one day aye sa adwuma no enti before na ye be ye on be ye sa adwuma no de still no say etimi kofa kakra okay edeba na mpanyifo so de hyehyɛ egu akwan mu na wɔn yɛ ne wɔn de bɛyɛ senior yɛ kɔ yɛ nim no yɛnsan nyɛ den yɛnsan ɛnkɔ yɛ chi na yɛnkɔ situation na yɛwɔ mu sese ne bio mate we ma 2 minutes 3 minutes na on lending rate na take mame enti on lending rate no policy rate Bank of Ghana reduce about 40%, more than over 18% na ejawo but at the end no dwedini say omo feel because banks no enti so ma won said the Bank of Ghana te so ama banks no
so you see you're one thing about policy and its implementation and the policy omo dey about what is about you 18% and I think omo dey about 14. I think almost have they voted further down? Yeah, it's 14 now. It was 15. It was 15 and now it's 14. 15.3 to 15.5. 15.5. 15.5, yeah. Now it's now 14. And it's all about the implementation. Maybe who the reason why over policy rates so, then the banks are still charging different ones. The government should show much interest in implementing its policy when it comes to the banks, because we take the issue of the dollarization of the economy. Our government can say anybody who decides to who charges in dollars in relation to certain businesses are going to be taken on. All the banks comply to it. Again, government says I can say there's an amount of money that you can transfer in terms of dollar per day, and I say per week, and every account at some threshold. All of them adhere to it. In the other government also implement ways to push it further down, and also make sure that people also adhere to it, the banks adhere to it. Because what's the essence of a policy when people don't adhere to it? It doesn't make sense. I buy no power and I to implement it if they really want to implement it. One it has to do with issue of lending rate, in terms of all businesses. But my problem is aside the lending rate, what government needs to do. And I said there's a government journey say some commitment some the ministries and agencies in terms of budgetary allocation. Okay. Because the Kenya system even if the policy rate is 10% and you're paid to do business, people will still not buy because the Kenya system. It's the meme side.
So side, also side, not gonna for side.
Okay, fine. I'm just a question. Is there money in the system?
I'm not to answer that. It varies.
Okay.
Whether there's money or no money,
is there money in the system?
On lending rate,
you see, up the camera, you are very honest. I'm not answer.
Yeah, policy rate at Bank of Ghana there, any lending rate a good a raise concerns say lending rate no. So what you be saying, una bank na dey money go so. Me,
I'm not a finance person or I'm not that business inclined. But near me, and then you said media as a Ghanaian, I'm a little bit worried. Because I buy at policy rate so. And the lending rate, the retail, that's for the retail banks. And
the lending rate is what the banks.
Yes. So, but that one is the retail banks that give the lending rate.
Yes, the commercial banks.
Commercial banks. Yes. That's the retail banks.
Yes.
And to me, minimum say policy rate no bar. Now, lending rate no so no above from ama.
The business
communities will also enjoy because because I buying that not. The policy rate was a major problem. Business community agitated said it was too high because it was up to 24% or something.
The policy rate was I think 28.
28. About 28, 28 or something. And I buy yet this one.
No, I think
the interest, the lending rate was rather 28, 29.
The policy rate was 18.
Policy rate was 18. Policy rate was 18. Yes.
So yesterday, you had to who ever form. Until I maybe did say,
now it's on a reflection journey.
I didn't say concern or raising, and I'm worried about it.
I don't want to mourn your way that day.
Maybe now, I'm not a finance person.
But finance community, no, among your way.
Communication. So you have to be honest. You have to be honest.
Way, and among your way.
Oh, they are aware. They are aware. They are not be honest.
You have to be honest.
They are aware.
Mr. One thing is somebody, me sharing that, but I've been observing from my family. This want to be trying control. So I have to give that respect and credit to him. And I'm sure say I am worried say if government is being able to reduce the policy rate to this level, inflation is on 3 point something, cedi to dollar has reduced drastically. I see the Bank of Ghana have to be on the retail banks, say they should be able to reduce their lending rate. Yeah. But we say I know Dr. Siama should be a listening governor.
Oh, yeah.
To say you should sit down and judge. But Mr. Martin, in as much as I bet you from say dollar no above from, inflation so above from, policy rate above from, and the lending rate even though it's not all that stabilized. Okay. So that the market price, the final consumer price, and any problem, any problem.
One point. Yes.
In fact, baby, I can remember when we na makoma phone lines. A boy a telephone. Yes. So I said to the buy kakra ya kanya enyanru ho no. The work of father no kwatum. Because market in the Huaba. So it's most to the Bia na Ghana phone ni say I say me
sometimes too much. But you see send a na ye can say inflation above them. Now inflation above them definitely I want soon so the prices of goods and services. Now inflation, you can say inflation. What is inflation? Inflation, and no one say consumer no adia or kwakotono obenya value for the money no. What you say? Inflation it doesn't mean necessarily say near bo eti ekofem. What inflation means, low inflation means is that the rate near bo ebeko esoro no enye de enko soro sa because ebia ene obeko akoto ade we 10 cedis ochina obeko na 12 cedis. That means inflation is high. But if inflation is lower, okoto ade ne 10 cedis ochina obeko no the same
stability.
Yes.
Okay.
That is inflation. That is inflation.
Stability. Yes. Even though like Oliver Twist will always ask for more.
Ebra ekobodie no ekoso no Mr. Boateng nti pacho mamiti o inflation stem ene dollar ne cedi stabilization mamen komra kobi matien
na ma bato mu pome
kobi
ma bato mu pome
ye hu ye pa wo frefi kobi
frefi aguna shedro
aguna yeti o
mommy yen kan okre e artificial economy na ye wo mu no yen kan okre ma biti me am ti ko am ko school am tunu wa ne Ghana ta adam je se ka me bu Ghana economy e cheap we e infected da ko fota ye gubi about $1 na banks na mfie eni so mo bra bia o what they are doing won ye bia no so ba enti edipem ka chen so munja tunu no ye hu hwe ene ma bua na ma me kufa no tamna to miss 2 cities and to miss 5 cities ene ko to bi dia on to cities bi o 6 cities what are you talking about
Medase me fada na mo se na ma chi
Obayima onyame aso die nka mu nyina
enka so frefi
Ampa to boko de
ye hu ye wo frefi
me wala me butila na oni se me ko communication officer
sa
kate me o we wodi se wa o mai mu nya announcement no akawo ko sin se mu nya ti me ka wo so ba ya ma me wo ye jombo na wo ye ha ko sin na wo ye no de se ba ne bu na kudua so wo ni bibi kakra me kan say adentina ye ne bokina fasofo no ye no mo nkotrase na ye mpe o modua bani bi ke everything tampo ekosi tamale every wanchi eko sola ekwa kosi wa bisa fi da kakra kai ana se diabani titi to banto ade no ye de ba enye yi ana ne mention Dr. Mahmoud be that we are ba to sana mo no ye ko ye kunkum ye
okay
and before cry ye de nipa me boy say
medase mama fana na amwako asuboy na machi
abra pokua toma abra boko de
miti o ai
abra bacha no be tiana
na amwako kasada yenko yedi
ya se fa ya dinye yo Mamincha income national chairman of MPP, you are honorable Boachi Ejakom, the Dobia, Mechene Masuma Odi. After Yempay Pua, a bedi on my Ghana, Eddie on my Ghana, Yambo Pa. Then, yet Ghana, I'm a book for the country, I say, over my and toast view. Nothing you would have anything yet, Ghana, a Yajodia. Yempay Puna, because you want Sasi every Aquatamali, and Sasi at the home. And did the employee to me, man, who said, no, because you cannot play Yantos. If you don't do this here, you have wealthy for more than more. You are Ghana.
Mate. But I said, I'm up. My last caller at 2 p.m. Mate.
Major also many about now for my.
I don't mean to be on your 18.
2 p.m. Masumo Santamampo. Nano pay the NDC original chairman, Shanty Region, Nnawotwe. Chairman maintain my main chairman answer on honorable Julius Debra. Many about share your best ye. Share His Excellency Goodluck Obama, John Dramani Trump, Kwame Abebu Mahama. Papa a footuna never 2 p.m. a day man. Share your second sem. Your Greek minister, you bet me ayo. And yes, I mean about it to me no info. You bet me I implement it.
adeɛ ama ya ton ye no ba ye e wo ya ye kurom etimedian ade a mestre me am president Mahama sa great sector ho no omuma ya ni nkɔ na emabunu so uwie school a eno nche se wo ya aban dwuma nkoa na sabio ye betimi aye de atu aka me nuaba me wie school na me nye 17 years dwuma na me do afu wo ba asante mampo wo betimi abuso wo 2 pm me farm eti sane ma no ye fa ye hunyim ye de hujima ye nko obi close say ye dey ye kwa obi kra dey e pro o man pani agrek no man ani nko kwa me da say
fa no wi esimame ya pon
yo ni America nyina na say enema ne de ya tete so eno de obia eni ho a onyin tum say enema bonye den e ma fa but e bia senia Ghana for e pen no eno no ena bia yenya enu ho but enkakrakra ye bedu ho but abuna meka asemba akon sesei aban no e de emre bi aba port ho a ye free bi artificial intelligence as say eno ena aban no e use e wo port ho a ye de eye duty ho enema the reports I'm getting from my members and say adia ebia utua 50 cedis as your duty previously no since you started using artificial information artificial intelligence our port no so utua 50 cedis now it has been doubled to 100 cedis enti make us same way say sa na be koso na say adwadifo start say won etoto won ne maso a magana for emblemu adwadifo enora GRA issue statement regarding this artificial information say even custom officer obeye valuation regarding duty na say valuation wo obeye no figure e de be ma no say a lower than near artificial intelligence no e de be ma wo a say artificial intelligence dey na we den na wo use na say wo officer no wo ye valuation na say evaluation na obeye no say figure no higher than near artificial intelligence no e de be ma wo a assume say be artificial intelligence na ma 20 cedis na wo officer no evaluation a wo ye no e ma 30 cedis a no de and say we use artificial intelligence dey na mu no wo officer ne dey na say
okay they go for the highest bidder.
Yes, I am sounding a word of caution say sa na be koso na say duties e be koso dia and the consuming public should also brace themselves for higher prices.
Yes, to try to better to the when they say constant say AI moka e wo porto ho.
Yes.
Na yewie e wo enadwumadie so happy Eid Mubarak enko ema kramofo nyina ye nra mo break mo Ramadan no me agia Fauzia Karima dia Sali agia bia wutie me alaji bia wutie me anopai ana wo hwe me ye ma Eid Mubarak ye da mo nyina se Atiki Yakubu eka NPP communication team no home na Richard Manribe so eka NDC communication team ho Ora Clement Boateng wo Guta ono eno mo ye oyo mo national president edi amemeje so ene Abena Pokuwa Asempa 94.7 for Yedamase Adom TV ahwefo Yadawasi Yedwasi